Describe the gradual build-up to the final confrontation between Jordan and Gerald. What makes this confrontation unavoidable? Was it predictable? And what foreshadowed this event? Discuss the death of Jordan and whether it was necessary for him to die.
Well, I think that it was like definitely necessary because like I think that it was like a matter of life or death because like the confrontation at the end was when they were in the fire, and I think that like was like we were all kind of anticipating that because it was either like you fight him to get and save Angel, or like you both suffocate and die in the fire. So I think it's like necessary, and like I think that in a way like they all die either in the fire or just like by the abuse of like Jordan, and also it killed Jordan.
Well, I said that it was predictable because I said this yesterday about like how they constantly talked about fire, so it like foreshadowed what was gonna happen. But I also think it was predictable just because like all the little like bickering and fights that would happen, you'd think it was gonna happen, and I think it was necessary because like the story you wouldn't have been very like I don't know how to explain it. Like now you feel like happy that like he's out of their life and the book is done and you're not upset. But if he hadn't have died, like then we'd be like, well, I wonder what happened.
Also, I think that it kind of shows Jordan's character like a lot because he beats up he's like molesting his daughter, and then he beats up his other kid, and then he walks out and basically leaves them to die in a fire. So it's kind of like it shows like even though Gerald believed that he like never would have changed, it just like showed everybody that he didn't really change in prison or in jail wherever he was. That it's just like he's the same bad person that he walked out on his kids and he died for his bad decisions.
Yeah, I would agree with like both of you guys. Like I think like it was like very predictable, like all the little events like Allison said, like it really leads up to it. And like when Mr. Perry's talking about like the other ending, like the author had like it just I don't know, I think that like wasn't predictable, but I don't know, I really liked how it ended because it was necessary for Jordan to die and he deserved it, and like all the little actions like he did like molesting his daughter. And just like being like abusive and verbally and like physically was.
I think the confrontation also depended on like Gerald, like because he was little when the book obviously started, and then he like grew older and like became like a young man. And I think that depended a lot because he couldn't really do anything of how little he was, and now like he's like an independent like dude that knows what he's doing, and now he can like call Jordan out because he's his own person now. And I do think it was necessary for him to die.
Yeah, I agree that it was necessary because it allowed for that family to have a new start. I feel like if he was still alive, the family could never like have a new fresh start.
I agree with Bella that like it was super predictable, but it was just a matter of when Gerald could like fight back from Jordan. And I also thought that it was necessary that Jordan died because like his death kind of like symbolized freedom for Gerald and Angel, and then like even Monique kind of like saw that Jordan was like having wrongdoings at the end of it.
I kind of have something really similar to Jill. Like, it was kind of like a weird contrast because they were basically dying because of Jordan, but then Jordan kind of saved them because when they were trying to get out of the apartment, they like tripped over his body, and then they like got down to the ground and like breathed in the clean like smokeless air, which saved them. But then even though Jordan really isn't considered a hero because he like was abusing them, he is kind of considered their hero. But then I said, this is kind of really cheesy, but like Jordan, it came to the point where they like fell down and they were like at the bottom of their like life basically, and then they like breathed in the clean air, and then this is like representing that they're like clear from Jordan since he died, and that they can get back up from it because it's like all clean from there.
I think it's ironic that because Jordan died, those two survived like physically in the book. Because he died, so he was like on the ground or whatever, and that's what saved them. So it's like a representation of what will happen from now on in the book.
I think the confrontation was unavoidable because, like, Jordan was always there. I mean, Gerald was always there when Jordan like did something bad to Angel, like when Gerald first saw him like go into Angel's room. That was like unavoidable. I just think that he was always there when Angel was in trouble. So like when she was in trouble this time, he was also there for her.
It was definitely unavoidable and predictable, but I was kind of hoping that Gerald would win, but he got kind of like beaten up, and that was not the kind of ending that I wanted. But I mean, Jordan died, and that was good. I agree that was necessary. Hey, he was a bad dude. He was
No, I know.
he was a straight up
I agree too.
sociopath, like,
I was just laughing because it sounds funny.
yeah.
I think Jordan's death is like too easy for his punishment. Sorry. he should go to jail and then torture. And like yeah, 'cause he's so mean.
They don't.
And so the book would end like interestingly, like they get to know what's in his mind, what does he want to say out to the family that he abuses.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, he probably should be punished, but like, he's already been to jail. He went for 6 years and he didn't change.
But he can stay in
That-
jail for like tons, millions of
Like,
years.
you talk about like more of like punishment than like him changing, because at this point I don't think he's gonna change.
What I thought. Oh.
I agree with Annika because the confrontation was unbearable because he did go to jail for 6 years, and then when he came out, like, even though he wasn't doing anything wrong, Gerald like could see like the evil in him, and then like when he hit his mother again, that's when I think Gerald figured it out that he was never gonna change.
I think that the most foreshadowing event of like the entire book was when Gerald and Jordan had like I think it was after Jordan had hit Gerald and had yelled at Monique, and him and Gerald had a very like non-verbal exchange, and like Jordan knew that what he did was like wrong, and he knew that he was gonna have to pay for it eventually, and so I think that foreshadowed even more like the big build-up of their fight.
I have a really weird thought. So like, I think of like a writer as like God for the story because they control the path of like what everybody's doing. So she like sent Jordan to hell because he died in the fire. And we compared the hospital to heaven earlier, so I think it just makes sense.
Yeah, that's good. Okay,
I
last
think-
one, Amanda.
What?
You're the last person, then we have to go to the next question.
Oh, okay. I think it was like really predictable because like Gerald like was like really fed up with Jordan a lot, and then, but I don't think it was necessary for him to die because like that's just sad. I know he's like a
He's
douchebag
not a
and
real
stuff.
person.
Okay, well it's still sad. I don't think anyone deserves to die, so he should like Chua said like have an actual punishment, be in jail for life or something, because he like is a douche. But yeah.
But I think it was kind of like karma for him.
And it's also his life. I mean, he was drunk and tripped and fell and then died. Like, I mean,
He
it's not like
finally-
someone pushed him to his death.
And like his actions finally like caught up. Yeah, like it was just karma. Like he did all this bad stuff and then it just caught up to him.
One more thing before
Yeah,
we
okay,
finish
yep.
is I thought it was kind of funny that like throughout the whole book they were like using the motif of like sounds and stuff, and this time like he died because his new like metal boots or whatever, like cowboy boots, were like way too slippery, and that's how he slipped and fell. I thought that was kind of karma because like it's just like that kind of just sort of like related because the sounds were always like bad sounds and like he like yeah, thanks God. But it was kind of like the sounds were always like related to bad times, and so like then that finally killed him.
Okay, we're done.